Hey guys, another 10 years later. Yeah, I'm gonna. Even though Roblox is working, I can make occasionally videos of it that. Even though I shuttered Arthur out, I just thought the plot point. Even though I said Arthur and Phineas and Ferb might not be potential candidates for 10 years, like I said already, link in the iCard at the upper right hand corner to my very first episode of this series, where I detailed out the groundwork for this series. But anyway, why that the reason why I left Arthur and Phineas and Ferb out, because I'm only going to have shows that don't have a future episode. Let me tell you some ground rules. I was just recently watching Arthur, and I wanted to see what I could do to the character 10 years later. But then I realized in the last. Now, there might be a massive tangent, which it is. For some shows, if they always have a 20 or 10 years passing by, you know what? Screw the ending of Arthur for this to work. I'm gonna make Arthur 10 years, which is happening right now. Arthur 10 years later. Now, instead of the. You know what? Guys, I'm not going to make another video after this one about Arthur 30 years later? Possible? No. I want to stick within my time frame of 10 years. But in the last let me tell you why I'm going to maybe do Arthur there again. I'm going to do Arthur. Now, here's some interesting plot threads. Like, how about this for some of the characters? Like, for Sue Ellen. Like, but as I actually rewatched his series finale, we only saw half of them. And now my 10 year later specials, I want all the characters from the show to make one last appearance before the show appears. And that's why I'm also not doing Batman the Animated Series 10 years later. Because by 2019, Bruce, basically I'm gonna, you know what, this episode will be what shows are gonna be now candidates for 10 years later. I didn't want to do Ben 10 and Danny Phantom, but keeping 5 Wild. You know what, this episode is not going to be my basis for the entirety of 10 years later. Like, I can obviously do real Ghostbusters 10 years later. Now, I will go into live action, but it's harder to do than, like, TMNT. Like, this episode basically going to be the basis for my 10 years later. I will only do shows that have been canceled. Something I said in the first episode, that only shows that have been canceled. Like, I don't want to do a show that already is. Like, for the same. And also, let me tell you some good candidates for shows that need more seasons. First off, I will have more. Like, 2 more seasons of the Zeta Project, which I will talk about tomorrow. By the way. And actually do Robo Wolf Force, The Revenge of Nazgar. Robo Force. Now, I don't think Garfield and Friends need any more seasons. Or the real Ghostbusters. Now, I would also give more seasons to Freem Ghostbuster, but all of them are coming down the pipeline. Now, in terms of what other shows I will do with movies, Bubble Guppies is actually one I've been wanting to do, but I've been postponing it because I can't think of an idea for. Now, this is basically going to be a basic outline for 10 years later instead of... Now, of course, if a show... Now, I can't do really shows that are already grown. Like, even shows that have grown up in it. Like, most times I'm doing cartoons with kids in it and just aging up the... Guys, I just had a thought that crossed my mind about other characters. Like I was pretty rookie at 10 years later at the start, but now I want to tell you some stuff about 10 years, about those where I only mentioned a handful of characters. Like in Dinosaur, like I want to tell you where they all are. Like for starters, in my Dinosaur Train 10 years later series, I want to tell you where exactly Gilbert is. Gilbert is actually running the Dinosaur Train 10 years later. Guys, this is actually going to be a correction. This is going to be a correction. Oh, that Dragon Tales and that... Let me just tell you some corrections. Guys, I know how some of my videos don't have many views. But I'm okay with how many views my videos have. Like some series I'm gonna rush. Like, you know, I understand that but anyway, Cindy Simolesti, Shiny went off. Let me tell you about more than just Buddy and Tiny. Like, I always said that Buddy went off to Refville. You know what? Another link in this video description is going to be to that video. Yeah. Another link will likely be first to the tab and then to my Dinosaur Train 10 years later, which is actually the first episode. So a link to just that episode. So, like I established, Tiny went off to still meet new dinosaurs on the Dinosaur Train. Buddy went off to Refville. Now what about Shiny and Dawn? Now Shiny went off too. Now I don't think it would be out of the realm of possibility for this show that Shiny eventually marries Gilbert in the far future. Maybe even a year later. I think I don't know what she would do because I don't know what Shiny will even do. Maybe she will be like... But Gilbert is not that much of a Pteranodon, so I don't know what she will... I know that maybe she won't marry Gilbert. Let me know. I don't know. I will leave it as an open debate. Would she or would she not marry Gilbert? Let me just do this. I don't know we've actually never seen dinosaurs. Maybe she won't. I don't know. Well, I'm going to stick into the realm of the possibility of the show. And what I've seen on the show is that dinosaurs don't really crossbreed into one another. Like, I don't imagine that Shiny and Gilbert could have a baby. If they did, it would probably be more like the Microraptor, where they have to adopt them. But I think if Shiny did in fact marry Gilbert, I think Gilbert will be the stay-at-home dad, and Shiny will be the one getting the fish. Now what about Dawn? Dawn left to go to stay with the Rhythrobromius. To live with the Rhythrobromius. The Rhythrobromius. Now that basically covered the character. Now I would have now Mr. and Mrs. Pteranodon, I think they would still live at Pteranodon Terrace, but a few years before the event of 10 years, Larry and his family moved to Lambeosaurus Corner. Where they found their own species, the Lambeosauruses. How about instead of Lambeosaurus Corner, how about it be like Lambeosaurus Forest? How about that? Let me just quickly look this up and be right back. I think it will be the same as... I think it would be Lambeosaurus Forest or something along those lines. Anyway, Mr. Pteranodon has actually formed a friendship with Larry. But Leroy and Lily live on their own. It's big enough that all the Lambeosaurus live there. Larry, of course, eats a lot of leaves. Hey, they all start with L. Lambeosaurus, Larry, Leroy, and leaves. I might have to propose theories about a lot of shows. Anyway, wait, back. Yeah, well, video. Yeah. Anyway, back to the actual video. About Leroy went to go see Buddy at Pteranodon Terrace, but then Mr. Pteranodon told him, sorry, Buddy's not been here in years. But it's only been a few weeks. They all turn, like, the recommended age for a child to leave home here in the U.S., by the way, is 18 years old. And I'm almost 18 myself. But the parent can't. Why is this important? Oh, no reason. I just wanted to mention it. Let me just tell you. 18 years of... But it's only been 7 years. Now, this take place... There's only been 5 years. Where could Buddy have gone? He went to Refville. And also, guys, I cannot pronounce the letter S. I have difficulty with that particular letter. I don't want to blame more. I will make a video, about my past later. Anyway, he went all the way to Refville Station on the dinosaur train. And yes, I'm out like keeping the rocket train and stuff. But for the sake of it, I'm just gonna have the dinosaur train. As he said, "Buddy, where are you? Buddy? Where are you? Are you even here?" As Dolores Tyrannosaurus said, "Who's Buddy? He's about the size that you are." "Oh, Buddy Tyrannosaurus? He's not here right now. No. He and my daughter Annie didn't move out. They're together for why. No, but Buddy hasn't been back in over a week. So, but we see Buddy saying, that was the best theropod convention ever. As they walk out of Laramidia, the dinosaur big city, and they say, man, that was the best. And Buddy cannot believe what happened at this year's. And also, I would change something to have the Laramidia, the dinosaur big city, be the permanent home. To be the home of now the theropod convention. The theropod convention. And Buddy said, man, that was a great convention this year. Were you expecting something else? I mean, I'm a theropod. As he literally said, that was the best theropod convention I've ever heard. I mean, I got to host it that year. As Leroy literally walks into the city the minute that Buddy leaves. Of course, he goes, looking for a Buddy. Again. But this time he finds it before he gets on the train back home. Not back home to Rand, Ontario, but back home to Refville. He says, Conductor Gilbert, stop the train. Okay. As he shuts off the. Thank you, Conductor. Well, Conductor. Hey, buddy. Oh. Hi, Gilbert. Hi, Leroy. Okay. So what's up? Buddy, I just wanted to hang out with you. But I have to track you down through so many time periods. I have to go from why? Well, for one, as they got on the train home, Buddy explained why he went to the theropod convention. But he said, but as the train was nearing Lambeosaur Forest, stop. Hey, can I get off with you and then I catch the next train conductor starts in? Sure, why not, buddy? You can get off here and then I can get back on. You can catch another train to Ratville. As he gets off, as he says, as he said, as the conductor Larry told him, as Mr. Conductor, the guy that used to run the dinosaur train before Gilbert, Sally did retire, saying, he retired, not because he retired by his own, saying, he said, time tunnel approaching, folks. As he says that, he lives, when we see him at not Misty Station, but near there. As he said, I miss being the conductor on the dinosaur train. As he says, I miss time tunnels. I miss you to say time tunnel approaching. But those days are long over. I retire. But here's a problem for him. He doesn't need to retire. He didn't want to, but the board wanted him. He said, oh, as he said, as he was fired because he was too old. As he got fired because he was simply too old for the job. As he got fired, and he said, and he sadly said, I'm now bored out of my mind. I'm now bored out of my mind. I'm now bored out of my mind, he says. Now I'm bored out of my mind. Saying time tunnel. You know what? I bet Gilbert does need some help. But Gilbert had everything under control. But that for a guy. But like what your grandma did before she died. And also, yes, Mystic Conductor Sally passed away 10 years ago. A while back, she passed away. So, basically, I don't want... But, can I be like... Oh, yes, Uncle. But, I know how to run a program. Time tunnel. As he did run a lot of stuff. So Gilbert basically ran the plan, and then his uncle Jeff was there to help him. To help him. But that is Cindy Simolesti. Her Simolesti corner looked never better after the forest fire. And we start with two new we start the series how we end the series. We start the series, we end the series on how it began with a new unknown dog. Boy named Bill waking up and not knowing what type of species was, so the show can go in a complete circle. That's how I would... Now, this has just been a thought on and statement for 10 years later, so see you guys tomorrow for Arthur 10 years later, and I ran out of time in a video. So see you tomorrow for Arthur 10 years later.